Hello everybody, it's Anne from Stampin' Up. Welcome to another card making day here in Simcoe, Ontario. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here, and if you live in Canada and don't have your own demonstrator, you can shop with me. You can reach me at stampsntea@gmail.com, or my demonstrator website is stampsntea.stampinup.net. So it's January, still January, so in January and February Stampin' Up runs something they call Celebration. If you spend $75 Canadian, you can pick a free item from the Celebration catalogue, and these items are all beautiful and all useful items. Nice stamp sets, dies, ribbons, beautiful papers, lovely papers to use on your card, in your card making or your scrapbooking. They apply, equally to both, either scrapbooking or card making. When you watch my videos, if you could leave a comment or a like, especially on YouTube, because it helps my ratings. And if you want to be notified of my videos, you could subscribe to my channel on YouTube. It's called StampsNTea. So let's turn the camera down and I'll show you everything we need to make today's card. So we have a whole bunch of supplies here on the desk to make today's card today. These stamp sets that we're going to use two different stamp sets today. One is called Spring Corners and the other is Mixed Florals. Now these are both bundles, which mean they both have stamps and dies or stamps and punch. These both have stamps and dies. The Spring Corners is $64.75 for the bundle, stamps and dies. Great value, lots of lovely sayings that go around the corner. The other set is Mixed Florals. We're going to use this stamp today. It's really big stamp and it's beautiful. Practically makes your card without anything else added to it. And it also has dies to cut it out. This bunch is $78.25. It's a little more detailed, bigger stamps and everything. Lovely little ladybugs in there that you just might miss if you weren't paying too much attention to your stamp set. But lovely stamp set again. Now this one also has something called Memories and More cards that match this stamp and die set. Memories and More, it's $15.75 I think for the set, and it has lots of cards that you can use for card fronts. It has like a whole item like this that would already be coloured, and you would just punch it out or cut it out and add it to your card. Great value for the money and lovely for when you're working in a scrapbook. So let me put those aside. When I purchased one of those sets, I was able to pick a free selection from the Celebration catalogue, and on page 11 I picked this designer series paper. Beautiful paper, lovely colours in it, Daffodil Delight, Azure Afternoon. It's all beautiful floral papers on the fronts, but it's all lovely, like a water wash on the back, and much paler colours. We've got multicolours, we've got purples, we've got greens, we've got pinks, got a whole range of colours in there, and that's another beautiful one with multiple colours in it. So that's a really good deal for a free item. So let's put everything aside and bring in some basic supplies to make the card. We've got, that's the envelope, we've got a Daffodil Delight card, and it is 11 inches by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2, and it's going to be a side fold card. It's going to sit this way this week. We've got a piece of the designer series paper in the Daffodil Delight. Now when you look at this paper, it really should sit this way. It should sit like a portrait, because it has sprigs of flowers, daffodils and what have you, and little leaves and things. We're only going to see a little bit of this card, this paper, around the card, so we're not going to worry that it's lying the wrong way. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to think, oh yeah, they're leaves and they're lying down. Nobody's going to think that. We've got a piece of basic white, which is 5 inches by 3 3/4, and we've got a piece of basic white which is 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside of the card. So let's get started. I have to remember that this is going to be a side fold card and not mess this up. Now we've also got what do we have? We have some inks. We've got Memento, we have Daffodil Delight and Old Olive, and we've got some gems that we're going to put on the card. These are 2021-23 in color jewels, but you know, you never get rid of your jewels. These colors are all sort of still current. As long as the color's current, as far as I'm concerned, the gems are current, and you never get rid of them. We got some markers. We've got light and dark Daffodil Delight, we have light and dark Granny Apple Green, and we have light Pretty in Pink. We got a little sponge dauber that we're going to run around the edge of the card. Now let's get started. We'll do some stamping first. Let me move that up so it's right in the picture. Right, we should be good there. Okay, we're going to take the 5 by 3 3/4 basic white. We're going to do all the stamping right now. So we've got 5 by 3 3/4 basic white. We're going to lie that down that way. Now I need a scrap of paper here. I'm going to put this piece of paper down under my card and make sure my card this week is right on the foam mat, and I'm going to take this really large, first of all I'm going to stamp the sentiment. Now I'm going to stamp the sentiment first because I want that to go right to the end, and then I'll fit my flower stamp inside of that. But if the flower stamp is too far this way, I may not get the sentiment on, so I'm stamping the sentiment first, and I'm stamping the sentiment in Old Olive. Now this is my, I think, 5 by 3 inch block, and I put my stamp as far to the edge along the top, as close to the edge as I could get it, and as close to the edge down the side as I could get it. Now I just want to make sure that's inked up really well. There, and that is going to go right around this edge of the card. And I'm not leaning right over the top of this, so I'm hoping I've got it all on the card. We will see. Yes, but I messed it up. So we're going to turn the card over and we'll try again. And I am going to pull this card in towards me so that I can see better that I've got everything on the card. So I'm just going to pull this closer to me so that I can get my head right over and make sure I've got everything on the card. There, lovely. Now I can line up my flowers better, making sure I can see them all. But first I'm going to do the stamping on the inside because I'm going to use the same color ink. Okay, so we've got a happy birthday for the center, right in the center of the card. There, that was nice. And then we've got this piece from the Spring Corners set, and it's just like a few lines, and I'm just going to put that in a couple of the corners. We'll go there, and there. Now when you have a stamp like this, I think you're tempted more to put it in the corner of your block. Let me put something behind it so you can see. I think you're tempted more to put it in the corner of your block, but then what would happen is if you had this in the corner of your block. You see how it lies flat there? It's basically flat, it hardly rocks at all. But if you put this right in the corner of your block, you see how your block can rock? So when you're putting your stamp into the ink pad, and then you go to stamp it on your card and you press it all down, you see how you get the edge of the block because you've picked up some ink on there, and you really don't want that. So put that, if you can, as close to the inside, as close to the center of your block. I'll just put it back on there so I don't lose it. So that's the inside stamp. So now we've got, I'll put that off to the side. I'll bring this piece back in. You see, making sure I've got it right in the middle of my card. So now we're going to take Memento ink and we're going to stamp this big huge flower stamp. Looks good all over, I think. And I'm just going to clean around the outside edge because I know I'll have touched the outside edge, you see, and you can see there on the block and here. So I'm just cleaning that off before I put that down on my card. Try and make sure my hands are clean. And I'm going to stamp this in the bottom corner of the card. Now this is what I meant by, I want to get as much of my flowers on here as I can, but I don't want it to overlap the sentiment. So there it is. Hopefully that looks good when I peel it off. Yes, that is lovely. Right. So now we've got to take some time to colour. Now I'll be honest, it took me quite a while to colour. It took me a good 10 minutes to colour. These are the colours I used: the Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green, and Pretty in Pink, the light. Now I'm going to cheat here. I have already coloured this in. Okay, there's a piece that's coloured. Okay, that's how it's going to end up. So basically it's the light Daffodil Delight on the tulips, a little bit of dark Daffodil Delight for shading at the bottom of them. That was all there was. The Pretty in Pink did the little pink flowers. Now I did them next. I did the daffodils first, then the Pretty in Pink for the little flowers. Then it was easier to colour around, quickly colour around the flowers, you know, when I was filling everything in. With the Granny Apple Green, the light Granny Apple Green, I'm just going to touch a few spots where I can see I've missed. And then all I did was I took the dark Granny Apple Green and I just hit the lines. You see the black lines for definition and pattern and whatever. I just squiggled my marker over them like that. Just a little squiggle here and there, just to give it a bit of extra colour on the dark lines. That was all I did. So let's put that piece out of the way. This is the piece we're going to use. Alright, so it was as simple as that. So now this is going to go on the front of the card, but it looks a little stark. It looks a little too bright. So I'm going to take my Daffodil Delight stamp ink pad and I'm going to take a piece of foam sponge. Just going to dab the sponge into there, onto the ink pad, and just run this right around the edge of the card. Okay, now I am getting a little bit of ink on the front of the card, and that's okay. I don't just want it to be a straight line along the edge. I want a little bit of this Daffodil Delight to sort of run over onto the card. And all that's going to accomplish for me is when I put this card against the yellow paper, it will sort of mix together nicely, instead of, you know, you see in this huge white edge. You see how you can see a little bit of yellow, a little bit of like edging on there? That's all we're going to do with it. We're ready to put this card together. So let me move the paper out of the way, let me move this out of the way. I need to bring in my silicone mat and my card. That's the inside, this is the outside, this is the front. So we're going to take this piece of DSP, and what we're going to do, we're going to decide whether we want to put it down in the corner like this. I'll show you when I'm finished my first card that I made, but I think I'm going to put this one like this. I think it's going right in the center. Okay, so let's turn this over and let's get some liquid adhesive on here. And liquid adhesive gives you just that extra couple of seconds to slide your paper around to where it needs to be. Goes. Try not to get glue all over my hands. I think it's too late. I don't think there's any hope for me. So this will give us about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. That looks good. Just slide it a little bit there. There. So that's that. Let me just turn that over and give that a really good press. There. We've got this piece now, which again is going to go right in the center, so we can use liquid adhesive again. And again, this will have about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. I'm going to turn it over again and give it a really good flatten out and press it down. It's nice and firm. Nice hold there. There. We're going to pop this piece on the inside. There. Hope you have an amazing day. And then we've got these little gems, and they have some beautiful little yellow gems in here, and there's different sizes. I think there used to be a small, a medium and a large, but I think I'm down to a small and a medium now. So we're just going to put a couple of those on. I've got a couple of large ones here. I'm going to tuck one right there, only because, well, I'm going to put a small one there. Let me think. One there. There. And a tiny little one there. There we are. So that's today's card. Now this is the card I made first of all. Same card, just turned a different way, and I just put everything into the corner on this card. It's exactly the same on the inside with a couple of borders and happy birthday, just the same as that. Same card, two different ways. So there you have it, today's card, my own design. If you want to copy and share, please do so. Just see where you saw the card made, and if you sell your cards, put the Stampin'Up angel stamp on the cards, which just says all the supplies used were Stampin'Up supplies. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.